Please like, subscribe, and be sure to click that bell button for regular and exciting indie film content and your chance to be the first to engage with the Liftoff Global Network of Film Festivals as we embark on launching the careers of the filmmakers of tomorrow.
Hi everyone, we are live. We have our sound going. Thank you so much for your patience as everything got sorted. I am Carolyn. I am a content and events producer here with Liftoff Global Network. To start out with, I just want to shout out a couple of people who have already said hello in the chat. Nicole Coffino, hello. I'll only be able to stay on for 40 minutes, but looking forward to seeing the films. We won't be longer than 40 minutes. You'll be able to stay for the whole thing. This stream should only last really about 15 minutes. It's just to give a quick first look at the festival. So also we have Adam P. Murphy. The bots will get it. Awaits with bated breath. Wonderful, thanks. And then Julian Koke. Hello. Hi, Doug Loren. Lovely to see you all in the chat. If there's any problem with the sound, let me know in the chat, but I think I've got it resolved. Okay, so what is some news from the Liftoff Global Network? This week, we have had a couple of actor workshops here at our headquarters in Pinewood Studios. We had those yesterday and today, and it's really exciting to bring in groups of actors to be able to introduce them to what the indie film world is and how to become a part of this film world and to connect with directors like yourselves and other filmmakers. So that was really cool. Things to look forward to upcoming in the next coming weeks are our focus groups, both for the filmmakers and also for the screenwriters. That will be led by our general manager, Natalie. They are fantastic ways to be able to connect with other filmmakers and to see their films. I saw someone mention on, I think it was on the Hub, they mentioned that as a filmmaker who's part of the festival, you get a ticket to the program that your film is in. Well, if you join one of these focus groups, you'll also have the opportunity to see films from other programs as well. So join a focus group, expand your opportunity to see more films within this festival. And we also have our networking event coming up. So all really great ways to get connected, get involved, and I highly encourage you all to take part in that. Yes. And also, let's just do a couple more shout outs. We've got lots more hellos over here. We have Eleanor Glasgow, Perry B. Anthony, howdy. Rikia Mimuro, hello, and Perry B. Anthony. Ooh, associate producer for 15. Yes, thank you. I loved reading your pitch for 15. And that's the main thing I want to say first off, is thank you so much for all your pitches. So those of you who are turning in to watch, who have never been a part of our first looks, what this is at the beginning of our festival, we invite all of our filmmakers to go to our members hub and answer a simple question: why does the world need to see my film? And then from those responses, we received about 50 for this festival. From those responses, we go through and we pick 4. Just 4. So hard to pick them. 4 and usually a bonus. And then we talk about them on this stream. We take a look at them and tell you as audience and other filmmakers why you should take a look at these films. But the exciting thing about these pitches on the hub is that now everyone who's made a pitch, anyone can go in and read why they should take a look at the film. So I highly encourage each of you to go and look at all of the films that have been pitched, because it is so hard to pick only 4 to talk about. There are fantastic films part of this festival, and you get a little sneak peek by reading through the comments in the member hub. So go and take a look at that. And a big shout out to everyone who made those posts. I also want to do one specific shout out to Stuart Fortune, his film Tayuna. But the reason why I wanted to shout him out is it was just great reading through the comments and then seeing that he had already commented on another filmmaker's film, being like, I really like this, everyone should go and see it. That type of networking is just fantastic in this film world. So shout out to you, Stuart Fortune. And great, we got a few more highs here, really active in the chat. JC Andro, hello, yes, we're excited to have you here on the chat. And Rodney Greer, great news, Bozo executive producer, actor, writer of Bozo, the short film. Great, okay, So before we dive into these 4 films, I just want to talk a little bit more about what this member hub is. So right now, as part of this New York festival, you've all been invited to join the festival hub. But it's much more than just the festival hub. We also have the opportunity that you can become a professional member through our network. And I'm just going to show you a very short little video about all the perks that are involved with that. It'll be very short, and then we'll get straight into this stream. Here we go.
Launch your career with Liftoff Professional Membership. For a yearly fee, you get the support to develop your ideas and get them exposed to a truly global audience. Membership includes free submissions to all Liftoff festivals and showcases, distribution for packaged projects where we will take your films and concepts to all of the major film markets, full production support. Liftoff will become your producer. Partner with the global network and let's work together to get your future projects funded, completed, and released. There's so much more to professional membership, and you can find out everything you need to know by going to liftoff.network/membership. Liftoff is the launchpad for filmmakers and their careers.
Okay, so there you have it. That's a little bit about professional membership. So if you're interested in staying a part of this network after the New York Festival is over, go down into the comments below this video. Yeah, that's what it's called. The information below the video. And there you'll see a link to professional membership where you can find out more and where you can join as well. Okay, now without further ado, we are going to jump into the first looks of New York, Toronto Liftoff. Very excited. The first film up today that we are going to talk about is called 99%. So 99% is written and directed by Roberta Serban from Romania. This film is about 20 minutes long, and you can find it in the Judges Select category. This film is incredible. Some of the coolest sound mixing and sound design that I've seen in a film. I personally have not seen anything like it at the beginning of this film. I'm just going to pull up a still so I can describe what happens in this opening sequence. So in this opening sequence of this film, you have all of these people coming and going out of this hotel, and we get little snippets of their conversations, and we don't know who's the protagonist. We don't know whose conversation we're supposed to be listening to. We don't know exactly who to follow, and it just makes it so exciting for this film. Absolutely loved it. The acting and the writing is superb. So let me tell you a little bit about what this short film is about. So in her pitch to be included in this, Roberta wrote, "The Visit is a short film that expresses how I meet my father for the first time in." Excuse me. Let's start over. I'm going to go back to the stills, and I'm going to read what her pitch was. The Visit. It's a short film that expresses how I meet my mother for the first time in a communist jail in Romania. I was 4 years old, and I will never forget. I tried to make it a comedy. Feelings that stay are always the beautiful ones, no matter the war, no matter the politics, and everything is possible, even wonders in communism. Enjoy and vote for this war to stop. Not only this war, all wars. We need peace. All of us. So the really interesting thing about this film, as it dove in, is that this wasn't just a story about how she met her mother when she was 4 years old, but it's also the story about how she meets her father for the first time after finding him on the internet. This story is incredible. Very captivating, very well shot, well directed, well acted. Please go and take a look at it. You again can find it within the Judges Select category of the festival, and it is called 99%, and it is by director Roberta Serban. Now, if you go back to the hub and look at her pitch, within the pitch, the name of the film is actually The Visit, but within the festival, it's called 99%. So go and take a look at that film. Yes, great. Okay, so moving on to our second one. Second up is Echo. Very excited to tell you about this film because Echo is directed by Joe Southwell, who lives here in the UK. And we actually got to meet her here at the Liftoff Global Network a couple of weeks ago. We have filmmaker showcases that happen in person here at our studio, and this film was one of the films that was a part of the festival that happened most recently. And Joe and the other filmmakers from the other films came in, we screened all their films, and then we got to have a fantastic talkback session. Let me just tell you a little bit about Joe's film as I bring up this still, so you can know a little bit more about it. Echo, directed by Joe Southwell, tells the story of Alice, a young woman so traumatized by the loss of her baby that she shuts herself off emotionally from her partner Tom and retreats into a fantasy world where she is able to connect with the essence of the child she lost, who we call Echo. After an elaborate underwater game of hide-and-seek with Echo, which clearly fills her life with joy, Alice comes to the realization that she must make a choice: sink down into the dark water with Echo, or come up for air where Tom is desperately searching for her. Okay, this film is stunning. The directing is stunning. The acting is stunning. A really interesting fact, if you'll go in and read on the Member Hub, there's a very, very detailed pitch that was written by the producer on this film. They actually came to Pinewood Studios to use one of the water stages to do the underwater sequences, which is really, really cool. But the pitch also talks about how common miscarriage is and how little it is talked about and how hard it is to come to terms when it is something that enters your life. And the filmmakers in this, Joe has a very personal connection to it. The actors, the producers, everyone involved with it had such a personal connection. They talk about how hard it was to make this film, but how liberating it was at the same time to be able to talk about something that just isn't talked about. Really beautiful. Oh, turn up a little bit. Joe, I think you're here in the chat. Sarah Gibbons, you're here. Hi, thank you. Sarah, producer of Echo, you're here. Thank you for pitching. I learned even more through your pitch than what I'd already known after chatting with Jill for the day. So thank you very much for your film. Everyone who's interested in going to watch Echo, you can find it again in the Judges Select category. It's about 15 minutes long and very much worth the watch. Okay, so next up, number 3. This film is called Hey There. And can I tell you, this film caught my attention in the pitches because as I read, this filmmaker is 14 years old. I thought, oh, I didn't know we had any 14-year-olds part of our network. And so went in to investigate a little bit further, and sure enough, the film Hey There is about a 14-year-old, and it's written and directed by a 14-year-old. So let me pull up a still, and I will give you the very brief log line for this film and tell you a wee bit about it. So the log line for Hey There is: a girl finds herself being watched by a love-struck boy who might have dark intentions. Now, the really interesting thing about this film is that Camille Blundell, who's the writer-director of this film, starts us off on a very comfortable, very familiar, very easy journey as she introduces a young woman through the narration of a boy that we don't meet until the very end of the film. And he's just talking about all of the great qualities about her. The editing and the really like the storyboarding, the way that she goes through her script, the jumps from thought to thought are really cool. And I was just very impressed with your work, Camille Blundell. So thank you very much for submitting this pitch. And it's very interesting how the film takes a dark turn at the end. And this is a very short film, only 5 minutes long. And you can also find it in the Judges Select category. And you should all go take a look. Take a look at what this upcoming young filmmaker is creating. Really well done, Camille. Just going to take a second to see who else is in the chat. Nicholas DiCarlo says hello. And Sarah Gibbons from Echo says thank you so much. Great. Okay, so we have one more, and then we have a bonus as a part of our first looks today. So our next one is Rabbit. Rabbit is directed by Isabella Ivos. It's 7 minutes long, and this one is found in our local filmmakers category. Let's pull up a still so you can see this beautiful film. Okay, Rabbit. It's set on an afternoon in the countryside, and it depicts a childhood memory of the main character following her interactions with her grandfather. We learn about their complex relationship as a dynamic between sensitivity and violence begins to unfold. I mean, just look at that beautiful still we just had. The cinematography in this film is stunning, and the acting is incredibly subtle, incredibly nuanced, and it leaves you thinking. Very, very lovely film. At only 7 minutes long, please go in and take a look, and then let it sit with you, and then maybe go back and take another look at it afterwards. Really lovely film, and if I'm not mistaken, I didn't put this in my notes, but Isabella Ivos, I'm pretty sure I read that you are a first-time filmmaker. Is that true? Correct me in the comments below this video if you're not, but I think that that is the case, and really well done with all of your work in this film. Okay, so we always say we're going to do 4, and then we just can't help ourselves. There are so many good films. We always do a little bonus at the end. So there's just one more film I want to mention as a part of today's first looks, and that one is Vagabond. So Vagabond is directed by Jean-Charles Andrew, and it is also part of the Judges Select category. This film was 12 minutes long, and his pitch really pulled at my heartstrings. So I wanted to take a look, and I wanted to share it with you all. Let me pull up a still, and then I will tell you about his pitch. In this psychological thriller of Black Mirror inspiration, Vincent, a French student desperate to find his place in the world, is shocked when he arrives in the US and discovers that his homeland no longer exists. He must find a way to escape or risk never seeing his family again. This story is about immigration and how scary it can be to leave your home and build a new life somewhere else. Feeling stranded in a foreign land where everything is different, especially during the pandemic, often made me feel like I was in an alternate reality where my home might as well have never existed. Wow. That's a good pitch. Thank you very much, Jean-Charles. And you, JC, you're here. Yep, you're here in the chat. Director Vagabond here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on the chat, and thank you for your film. Not only does it bring up like some good questions about immigration and how hard it is to enter a new country and to leave your home behind, but I also found myself laughing a few times at the absurdity within it, and also being an American. It made me be like, oh yeah, okay. You know, you kind of look at yourself with different eyes sometimes. So thank you for that, JC, I think is how you go by. Also, just some really, really beautiful shots as this character Vincent is first on the airplane, a very empty airplane, and then as he's going through the airport, just like some beautiful framing and really, really lovely acting there. So that is it. That is our first looks at the New York Liftoff Festival. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the chat and for all of your engagement. So now head back to the hub, take a look at those pitches, and make your comments below on this video. If you haven't had a chance to watch something, then our audience members who aren't on the hub can also have some ideas of what to watch if you make a comment below this video. Put your own film there. Tell people what to watch. Anyways, thanks so much, you guys, and we look forward to seeing you more throughout the festival this month. Bye.